200 years ago, this secluded cove was inaccessible by land until a group of entrepreneurs came up with an ingenious plan to turn a remote beach into a popular seaside spot. Find out how and where I am in just a moment. Today's dog-loving duo have a keen eye for detail as they explore our country properties.
Yeah, my knitting bag could sit just right over there.
You've picked out a place for your knitting bag.
It's near the fire.
Their wish list presents its challenges, but also some positive reactions.
Well, yeah.
I got a bigger wow from Colin for this part than the main house. Today I'm in Devon, and these are the Tunnels beaches on the northern coast. In the early 19th century, coal miners from Wales were brought in to tunnel through these cliffs. In doing so, they opened up this natural gem to the growing trend of the Victorian seaside holiday. And the town of Ilfracombe, on the other side of these rocks, prospered as a resort. Later on, I'll be exploring those tunnels and the beaches they lead to. But first, let's shine a light on what else this picturesque county has to offer. Devon's enduring popularity is reflected in its house prices. The average cost of a detached home in this county is just shy of £305,000. That's £21,000 above the national average. Coastal properties are obviously more pricey, but as a general rule, the northern areas of Devon are less expensive than the south. So what is it about this diverse county that's so appealing to our buyers today? Let's meet them. A chance meeting brought former nurse Claire and retired firefighter Colin together 22 years ago, while Claire was hanging out her washing.
We met many years ago. My sister-in-law's sister lived upstairs from Claire, and I saw her one day and thought it would be nice to ask her out.
She did.
And then it went from there.
Yeah.
When they met, Claire was in the process of house hunting.
I found this house in January 1993 because I was looking for a property that would house my disabled son and give him all the facilities that he needed at home.
They moved in with Claire's son Jamie the following year, and they married 3 years later and had a daughter together. Colin also has a son and daughter from a previous relationship. However, they now live by themselves in the 5-bedroom detached house in Bexley in Kent, just outside London.
Bexley doesn't seem to offer us the quietness anymore. It's just so busy all the time, and we just feel as though it's time for us to move somewhere quieter now. The children have grown up, so we'd like to be able to just move away and do our own thing now.
Having enjoyed many happy holidays in Devon, they've decided it's where they want to call home.
Like the scenery, open spaces. It's a much more relaxed and stress-free way of life down in Devon. So once we get down there, we can just take our time at the pace that Devon does. And it'll be great.
And after a happy partnership spanning over 2 decades, they can't wait to choose their first property together.
For me, the most exciting part is going to be finding that house. Just to have one that we've bought together because we both like it, not because it's what we need.
Well, yes, which this house was.
None of the children will be making the move south, but Claire and Colin won't be relocating on their own.
The dogs will definitely be coming with us.
Yes.
They're a big part of our lives now. As far as we're concerned, they're part of the family.
Our dogs are Archibald, and he's a golden cocker spaniel. And we have Missy Moo, who's a Pomeranian.
So they'll definitely be kept busy with dog walks, and they've got other plans to while away their retirement too.
We bought a touring caravan a couple of years ago, and we think it's something that we really enjoy doing. So much so, we'd like to try and make it into a small business.
Just a small site, no more than 5 caravans.
Yeah. We don't want to make a fortune.
Just want a reason.
We want a reason to get up in the morning and go and do something and meet some really nice people. We've never run a business before, but I feel it's something we'd like to do.
Yeah.
Because we can do it together.
But it's not going to be all about work.
I'd like to get my sewing machine out and do some more sewing, quilting. The other thing I'd like to do would be grow some vegetables.
Yeah.
Their house is already sold, so the pressure's on to find them a Devon pad to call home.
It's just a nice place to be, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
We find that we relax quite a lot when we go to Devon. And if that's how we'll be when we live there, well, it can only be beneficial, can't it?
That's right.
I think that's why we've decided to move to Devon, or that we'd like to move to Devon, is because we only have happy memories there.
Claire and Colin have decided it's the north of Devon where they'd like to make their escape to, so that's where we're concentrating our search. But before we get our house hunt underway, I'm meeting them in the county to hear more about the criteria for their perfect property. Colin and Claire, welcome to a gloriously sunny Devon. Tell us why you want to make this your home.
I think the scenery says it all, really. It's just so nice. It's a slower pace of life. It's just a nice place
Better quality of life, I think.
And what are you looking for from a property?
We'd like a minimum of 3 bedrooms. We don't mind if it's an old property or a new property, as long as it's got some character. Reasonable sized kitchen, but we can work with that. I'd like an ensuite, but it's not a deal breaker. You know, it's really flexible.
That's good to hear.
Ideally, we'd like a bit of land on the side, so we could open a small touring caravan site, just for 5 caravans, and ideally we'd like a holiday let as well.
And you're dog owners too?
We are. Got 2 dogs,
And how many properties have you already seen?
just 5, but quite a few online.
And what's been the problem generally for you?
Generally, it's nearness of neighbours, because we wouldn't like to upset the neighbours with the dogs or caravans coming in and out.
So you can't be too close to neighbours. What are you looking for in terms of location then?
Ideally, we like edge of village, so when guests do come and stay on site, they can walk into the local village and have a pub meal, a couple of drinks, and then walk back again afterwards. That'd be the ideal sort of location.
So you don't want to be too isolated?
I don't think it will matter too much, because the sort of location we're hoping to provide, if it's out in the country, the people that want that are the people who will come. And if they want a pub lunch, they'll drive. Okay. So, you know, it's flexible.
Flexible is the key word.
Yeah.
How flexible is your budget, though?
Our budget is $575,000.
OK. Decent-sized budget, but you want a property, land and possible annexes. So
Everything.
it's not going to be that easy, but we will do our very best.
Thank you.
We've got a few lined up for you. Tell me what you
Great.
think.
Great.
Let's go.
Thank you.
Claire and Colin's budget of £575,000 is generous for North Devon, and it should give them most of the demands on their wish list. They're looking for a house with character, 3 bedrooms and a reasonable-sized kitchen. But age isn't important. Although they would rather not have near neighbours, they would like to be on the edge of a village. As they're planning to run a small caravan site, land to accommodate that is important, as well as space for their 2 dogs to run around in. What's more, a holiday let would be a bonus. And the good news is Claire and Colin are fairly flexible, which is a great starting point for our search. Putting all their requirements into the pot, we've come up with a fabulous range of properties, and that vital price tag will only be revealed after the house has been viewed. The last stop will be to the mystery house, which could involve a short break, but not for Claire and Colin. Our first house takes us to the village of Paracoombe, located on the west side of Exmoor National Park, and around half an hour from Barnstaple. Paracoombe is a pretty village with the River Hedon running through it. There's a traditional dining pub on offer, plus a post office and a pottery. A 2-minute drive from the village centre is our first property, located in a beautiful rural setting with spectacular views. This is the farmhouse I want to show you. It's built of stone, slate roofs. Obviously it's been rendered, which I think makes it look quite pretty.
Yeah. Clean and tidy, also keeps the rain out.
Did you notice we're inside Exmoor National Park?
Wasn't quite aware of that.
Fabulous views.
This is the real selling point, I think,
Yes.
of the house, is
Yeah.
the setting.
Yeah.
Look at those views.
Yes.
This is why you want to live in Devon.
Yes, it is.
It is.
And the quiet.
I know. It's so peaceful, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's very nice.
We're off to a good start then.
Yeah.
We are.
Let's go inside. Parts of this impressive property date back 100 years, though the house was refurbished 27 years ago before the current owners moved in. Although the farmhouse is only a fraction of what's on offer here, that's what we're exploring first. I wanted to start with the living room because of the views.
Yeah.
Triple aspect.
Fabulous.
Really good.
Wouldn't need a telly. Nice size. Squarish, like that.
This is where you'd spend most of your time downstairs, wouldn't you?
Yes.
And for beams, they're high ceilings. It's always been one of my concerns, is, low
You are
beams.
a tall man. Doesn't feel claustrophobic
No,
in here, does
not
it?
at all.
Could you see yourself sitting in here?
Yes. Yeah, my knitting bag could sit just right over there.
Well, if you've picked out a place for your knitting bag,
It's near the fire.
are you eager to see the rest of the house?
Yes, please, yeah.
If you lead us through the hallway into the kitchen, Colin. Next to the living room is a dining area, and next to that, running from the front to the back of the house, is the kitchen diner.
That's a really nice-sized kitchen, nice range cooker.
I like the idea of having the space to put a table in the kitchen.
With lovely views, exactly. Let's head upstairs.
OK.
Also on the ground floor, with access through the kitchen, is a huge 20-square-foot garage. If they converted this into another room, it would almost double the size of the ground floor living quarters. Moving upstairs, there's a bright family shower room and 4 bedrooms, comprising a single, 2 sunny doubles, and overlooking the garden, there's the master. And this comes with the ensuite that you said you'd quite like.
Okay.
And a very good size ensuite as well.
Yes, that was always going to be an added bonus. I always wanted one.
And you'd wake up to those views.
And the stars at night.
Yeah, plenty of storage as well.
Yeah, it's good.
So you've seen most of the inside of the house,
Right.
but you're both not giving too much away. Are you being polite? Are you not getting that feeling? Because you seem to like most of the house.
Yes.
We like the house.
Yep.
I'm not getting the feeling at the moment that this is me.
Are you not?
Can you put your finger on why?
No, I can't at the moment.
Do you feel the same way, Claire?
I like the house. I like the sizes of the rooms. But it's the whole package. Let's have a look outside.
OK. Well, there's plenty more to see outdoors, all sitting comfortably in around 13 acres of land. There's an equestrian yard with 2 stables underneath a hayloft, a workshop and further outbuildings, all waiting to be put into action. Do you think this could be adapted for caravans? So knocking this shed down and this space.
Potentially, yes.
Yeah.
And the draw for you guys is that you would be inside the national park.
Yeah.
So the draw for your customers as well.
Would be for the same thing, yeah.
Should we talk about the price? Would that help you?
Possibly.
Yeah,
quite
quite
possibly.
Who'd like to go first? How much is this property and the land that comes with it on the market for?
475.
I think that's too low.
And that's a lot of land.
So what would you say it is?
It's got to be over 500. It's got to be 550.
We've used up your budget. It's on the market for 575. Is it?
It's on the max. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just being hopeful and
Delusional?
cheeky, really.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, have another look around
Okay.
and I'll meet you at the front door.
All
OK,
right.
thank you.
Thank you.
This fabulous farmhouse is bang on Claire and Colin's budget and on paper delivers the elements on their wish list. It provides them with the character features they're after, plus living space and a good-sized kitchen. There's one more bedroom than they asked for, along with endless options for hobby rooms, guests and even a holiday let with that large garage. And not only would their pet dogs have a field day running around the land, but with a little thought, it gives them options for their caravan park.
One of the downsides of this house is it doesn't have a holiday let. The garage probably would lend itself to holiday let, but it's whether we could juggle the finances enough to be able to do it that way.
I like the farmhouse. It's got a lot of character to it. The more I saw of the house, the more I could see us living in this house.
The amount of land isn't too much. The only concern is the fall of the land. You need to have it at a minimum level to be able to put caravans on it.
Is it out of the picture?
Not entirely, no.
But you'd prefer somewhere with flatter land?
A little bit flatter, yes.
Right, on to the next house then.
Okay.
Around 2 million people in the UK take caravan holidays each year. And as keen caravanners, Claire and Colin are looking forward to turning their passion into a new business, which will keep them active and provide them with a useful income to help fund their retirement. They want to run a CL, a certified location, which is a small caravan site attached to a house or farm, with no more than 5 visiting caravans. Like our couple, the owners who stay here would all be members of the Caravan Club. They've come to meet Louise and Greg Holmes, who run one of the 2,500 CLs in the UK, to find out what running such a site really entails.
We recently moved to the area and we were looking to set up a CL as well, and we were fortunate enough to find the house here with a CL already made.
Oh, it's really fortunate.
Perhaps you'd like to come and take a look?
We'd love to, please, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Come on then.
Thank you.
Not only did Louise and Greg buy an existing site, but they also inherited an award-winning one. It was recently crowned Caravan Club Certified Location of the Year, so it came with a ready-made reputation, but it still takes some hard graft to maintain it to such a good standard.
What's the criteria for setting up a CL?
You'd be looking at a 12-foot wide entrance to allow safe access for the caravans. Fresh water for drinking water purposes. You'd be looking at waste management for the chemical disposal, so the grey water waste, washing up water, for example.
So if we're starting a new CL, how can we expand the business?
Having spotless facilities, cleanliness in the toilet facilities, if that's what you have, making sure the grass is kept nice, and that can be 2 or 3 times a week at least in the summer season. And being around and chatting to people, you know, they're having their holidays, they want to feel like they're really important and they're getting their expectations met.
Caravanners who visit a CL are allowed to stay for a maximum of 28 days at a time. So with around 1 million Caravan Club members in the UK, there's never a shortage of visitors, especially if you're prepared to go that extra mile when looking after your guests. Louise and Greg are expecting to welcome over 250 caravanners this season.
What sort of turnover could we expect to get from a CL?
You'd be looking at about £12,000 a year. If you're fully booked. We also have a B&B here, which increases our turnover.
How labour intensive do you find the actual running of the business?
It's not too bad. The grass takes a couple of hours to get around all of the grass. I work full-time during the day, so I do evenings and weekends, maintenance, fixing fences, weeding. Perhaps you'd like to have a go mow the grass with the tractor we have.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Sounds like fun.
The minimum for a certified location is half an acre. This caravan site is just under 2.5 acres, which takes up around 1/3 of the land. An extra bonus here is that 4-legged friends are as welcome as 2-legged ones. Caravans are thought to date back to the 15th century and were at first simply trailers to transport goods. Towards the end of the 19th century, they evolved into portable homes and were seen as a luxury for the wealthy. Now caravanning is hugely popular and it's on the increase. Today, more and more people are choosing to holiday at home, with sales of touring caravans growing by about 10% a year, and motorhomes double that.
So, Colin, if you'd like to take a seat, and I'll run through the controls with you.
OK, thank you.
Colin's hopping on to master one of the more crucial roles of his retirement.
You've got 2 orange pedals, forward and reverse. If you want to start it, you turn the key this way, and the engine should fire up.
While Colin mows, Louise is going to show Claire the shower block, considered a luxury and not something that has to be provided.
How many times a day do you clean the hut?
Every day. It has to be absolutely spotless for our guests, because that's what they want. You start with the sink and the loo and the shower and the floor, but you know, you do get quicker at it the more you do it. Right then. I'll leave you to it.
Thanks very much.
And I'll see you at the house in a bit.
All right then.
All right.
Bye.
While Louise has half an hour to put her feet up, Claire's getting some work experience herself. And after rolling up their sleeves, Louise and Greg want to know how Claire and Colin got on.
So it's running a CL for you? Do you feel inspired to do it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think it's something we're going to do, definitely.
Yeah, excellent.
It's day 2 of our property hunt in Devon, looking for a new house with land for Claire and Colin from Bexley in Kent to set up a small caravan site. With a budget of £575,000 to spend, this will be the very first home they'll have bought together. Coming up, reactions to the mystery house require me to dig deeper.
It's nice. Okay.
But you always like the
I know.
houses.
And I'll be discovering the hidden treasures at the end of some historic tunnels. It must have been quite daunting for some people to have come through somewhere like this, very dark, and wondering where it was going to lead. It's become clear that Colin and Claire are more particular about the business side of things than they are about actually finding a home. Well, we've got 2 properties coming up today. Later on, we'll head to the Mystery House, where we really have gone big on business. But first, I'm going to show them a house that has an enterprise already up and running. We're travelling to the small market town of North Taunton, which is just over 26 miles south of Barnstaple and lies north of Dartmoor National Park. The centre has a host of local shops, along with a town hall and the distinctive Church of St Peter. Just a short walk from the centre is this attractive thatched cottage.
Very pretty.
Yeah.
Quaint.
So the actual house is the middle part here. The pink house is a neighbour.
Right.
And the bit on the end is a holiday let.
Right.
That comes with this property.
All right, OK.
So what you have with this is a ready-made holiday let. Income straight away.
Ready to go.
Okay.
Good.
There's a couple of boxes ticked.
Exactly. How do you feel about the fact that this property is semi-detached?
I don't think you'll like that.
No, not too keen on that, but I will keep an open mind.
What I would say is the holiday let at the end didn't used to belong to the previous owners of this house, but when that came up, they then bought it. So an opportunity like that could one day come up with this. You know,
Yeah.
it wouldn't have to be a semi-detached forever.
It's an
If
option,
you
yeah.
liked it.
Yeah.
Should we go in?
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
This Grade 2 listed cottage exudes character and still retains some of its original 16th century features. The front door leads to a long beamed hallway which takes us to a bright 1980s extension at the other end of the house. This is the original door. Hello there.
Wow.
It's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, wasn't expecting this.
And look at the views. This is why I wanted to bring you straight
Yes.
into the kitchen diner.
Yeah, that will
Yeah.
draw you through from the front door, wouldn't it?
Well, it really does, because you can see that view as you come in through the front
Yeah.
door. That's where your eyes are completely... Would this space do for the family as a kitchen diner?
Yeah,
I think so.
yeah. Nice sized dining room here.
Yeah.
The kitchen looks very usable.
Yeah.
Happy so far?
Yep.
OK, onto the living room. This can be accessed from the kitchen or the hall. So in the living room, we're back in the original part of the cottage. Here you've got the beams.
They fit in with the cottage.
They really do.
They fit with the house, yeah.
Fireplace.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, lovely fireplace.
And you can go through into the kitchen from there
OK.
as well. So it's
Roundabout.
a double entrance. Exactly, the house flows.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cosy.
Nice window seats as well.
How are you feeling so far?
I'm liking what I'm seeing inside.
OK.
I still am undecided about the neighbours.
OK. What I want to now do is show you that all-important holiday let.
Yeah.
Let's go next door.
OK.
On this floor, there's also a double bedroom and a storeroom. And upstairs, there's a family bathroom set into the eaves, a large landing currently in use as a bedroom, and 2 further doubles. With the house covered, it's time to explore the holiday let and the land on offer. We're starting off in the Taddy Barn, and it's a far cry from its old life storing taddies. That's Devon speak for potatoes. So as you saw coming in, it's a 2-storey let.
Yeah.
Nice kitchen into.
Well, yeah.
It's a lot bigger than you think it's going to be, isn't it?
I got a bigger wow from Colin for this part than the main house.
Yeah.
So one of my suggestions is you 2 could live here and let out that. That's another option.
It's a definite option.
Yeah.
It's definitely got the wow factor
Yes,
in here.
it has. This is...
This is really nice.
Yeah.
I mean, this used to be a potato barn.
I know. I could live in a potato barn.
Yes, you absolutely could. Well, let's
Yeah.
go and see the
Yeah.
outside space, and then we will discuss the price. Also on the ground floor is a smart bathroom, and upstairs there's a double bedroom and an L-shaped single, 1 room either side of the landing. Outside is just as delightful as inside. There are beautiful views, a ready-made vegetable garden and a paddock extending to just over an acre.
Is space outside?
Could you turn this land into the caravan park that you would like?
I think it would be difficult, the sloping ground. I think it would take a fair bit of work to terrace it.
With the holiday let, if the price was right on the house, you wouldn't need to do the caravan bit.
No.
And this could just be the view for us and any potential holidays.
You might be willing to let the caravan business...
Possibly, yeah.
yeah.
We're open.
Yeah.
OK.
Yeah.
Shall we talk about the price?
I haven't got a clue.
540.
555.
You're both way out. It's actually on the market for £375,000.
Oh, wow.
That's really something to think about now.
Go back in to the main house, have a look around, have a chat.
Okay. Thank you.
I'll meet you on the other side.
You will.
Okay.
This thatched farmhouse is a staggering £200,000 under Claire and Colin's budget, which would leave them all the cash they'd need to get their business ventures underway. The size and character fits the bill, and even the sticking point of the attached neighbours could come good over time. The holiday home is ready to let, and there's well over an acre of land for the dogs to run around in. What's more, the edge of village location means amenities are just a short stroll away.
I was pleasantly surprised with this house, the size of it, the holiday annex attached to it. The only concern I do have is the semi-detached status of the house, although possibly that people could be moving at some point in the future, which may make it possible to buy and have it as one large detached house.
Steps everywhere. It's a good size.
It is, isn't it?
Cupboard as well, that's always useful.
It's really different.
Yeah, like it.
The caravan side of things are not quite as important because there is an immediate income, but with the money that's being saved on the overall purchase price, the potential is there for us to try and expand into the caravan side of things.
When we found out the price, well, it was flooring, I think. Any doubts that we were having, they became less significant, so it is going to be up for serious consideration.
Nice to see two smiling faces.
Yeah.
And we've still got the mystery house to go.
We
Come
do.
on. For our mystery property, we're journeying to the hamlet of Oakford Bridge, around 2.5 miles from the village of Bampton, which sits just south of Exmoor National Park. Bampton Centre provides residents with an array of useful local shops. A 7-minute drive and we're in Oakford Bridge at our attractive mystery property, thought to date back to the 1700s. It's built from stone from the local quarry and topped with a traditional pantile roof. Welcome to the mystery house, or should I say hotel.
OK.
It's an 8-bedroom house, and the current owners let out 5 of the rooms in more or less a B&B style, but sometimes they do dinner. And part of the deal is the house that you can see next door. That's a 2-bedroom holiday let.
Right.
That's self-catering.
Okay. Really wasn't expecting that.
I know that you've been wanting a holiday let business.
Uh-huh.
And the business side of things is important to you.
Yep.
I don't know whether you've ever considered the B&B option.
We have considered it.
Let's go and see inside. Our characterful mystery property started life around 250 years ago as a storage barn for bark used in the tanning industry. It became a home during the 19th century, and it's been a guest house for the past 60 years or so. So this is the guest drawing room.
Pleasant.
It's nice and light. Isn't
Homely.
it? Yep.
This is all a bit unknown to you both, isn't
Yeah.
it?
It is, yeah.
Yeah. It's nice. Okay.
But you always like the houses.
I know.
Very traditional.
You like it?
Yeah, so far.
Shall I show you one of the rooms? So you
Yes,
can
please.
really start to get a feel for the business. On this floor, there's also a fully kitted out catering kitchen, a storage area, a utility room and a guest dining room with character roof beams. All of the guest accommodation is upstairs, with bedrooms spread over 2 floors. So on this floor, there are 6 bedrooms. The owner uses that one as a study, so they let out 5, and each one of the 5 bedrooms has its own bathroom. Also on this expansive floor is a sunny double with a feature brick wall and an ensuite, along with a further 4 doubles, also with adjoining bathrooms. But I've saved the best for last. This is my favourite room that they let out, the biggest at the end.
That's a nice room.
It's impressive.
Very light, triple aspect.
Yeah.
Impressive size for a bedroom.
And then on the floor above, the owners are actually staying there and using the 2 bedrooms and a little kitchenette that they've got up there at the moment. But could you imagine, having seen parts of the hotel now, living in a hotel?
Yeah, it's definitely an option.
Yeah. And once we've seen the rest of it, you know, we might think of other options of ways we could work the property.
Well, let's go and see the holiday let part, because I think then you have the full picture of what's on offer.
Yeah.
OK.
Let's go. The neighbouring holiday let is accessed through a side door. So the kitchen's just through there, and then we come into the main living room of the property. So you could let that whole place out.
It's an option,
if you didn't want to live with your guests.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because this is detached, but very close to your business. But if you'd be happy in a property this size.
It's definitely worth thinking about.
That would work, wouldn't it?
OK, let's go outside and talk money.
OK.
This holiday cottage is all on one floor with 2 double bedrooms and a shared bathroom. Moving outside, there's around 1.5 acres of land, including terraced gardens and mature woodland. Here, there's access to the self-contained apartment at the back of the main house and car parking, including a double garage just opposite. I know because it's been a little overwhelming, I'm not going to ask too many questions at the moment. I think let's talk about the price first, so then you can really put things in context and see whether it's something you can consider. How much is the mystery property on the market for?
600,000.
599.
It's on the market for £595,000.
Right.
OK.
So it is over budget.
The good news is they would accept an offer closer to your budget.
Will they? Well, that's handy to know going in, isn't it?
That's definitely food for thought.
Yes.
The thing about this mystery property, though, is your caravan dream would have to be put to bed. Are you OK with that?
If it's the right one, yes, we are. If this will work for us, that's not a problem.
Have another look around, have a chat, and then I'll meet you at the front.
OK.
Granted, our historic mystery property is £20,000 over Claire and Colin's budget, but it sounds like the vendor would be willing to come down in price. It's full of character and bedrooms and comes with 2 enticing business opportunities. The hotel and the holiday let currently bring in around £50,000 a year combined. As the mystery property generates such a great income, the land can be dedicated to their beloved pets and Claire's much-wanted vegetable garden.
Nice bright rooms.
Yeah, very bright.
Yeah.
Nice size as well. When we first saw the mystery house, this wasn't what I was expecting. We'd had a chat, Colin and I, about maybe what you may throw into the mix. Hotel wasn't mentioned.
The caravan side of the business would have been a nice thing to have, but running a hotel is still hospitality-based, and that's the thing we probably enjoy.
Your minds must be buzzing, I know, and I've got so many questions. So let's go and get a cup of tea. Devon's beautiful beaches are a magnet for holidaymakers, and Ilfracombe on the North Devon coast overlooking the Bristol Channel is one of the main bases for tourists. But 200 years ago, the town's visitors weren't able to enjoy what's on offer here as they do today, because the archetypal British seaside holiday was still in its infancy. I've come to one of its famous tunnel beaches, the Ladies' Beach, to meet Sarah Hodson, manager of Ilfracombe Museum, to find out what a trip to the seaside was like 2 centuries ago. Sarah, the views from this beach, they're just spectacular. And it's so peaceful here.
Yes.
It's hard to imagine that just behind these cliffs, it's quite a bustling seaside town.
Yes.
It is a busy town, but it hasn't always been busy. It was a small fishing port, but it became very popular with the wealthy and the fashionable, partly because of these beaches and the tunnels that were created here for them to come and take the waters. And Ilfracombe became popular because of that.
Until the early 19th century, the town was separated from beautiful coves like this one by the high cliffs and rugged rocks, making the crystal clear waters inaccessible. Then, in 1823, everything changed when the tunnels were built into the rock to provide direct access from the town to the sea.
It must have been a lot of work. Yes, a lot of very hard work, and you can see all the marks on the tunnels with their pickaxes. But they had a vision that they really wanted to create a place for, as I say, the fashionable and the wealthy to come. The story is that Welsh miners built the tunnels. We don't know any more details than that.
It took 2 years to carve out 6 tunnels so that the townsfolk could be linked to the shoreline. Then, in 1836, the bathhouse was built, meaning visitors could bathe inside in both cold and heated seawater, allowing for a complete spa experience. In Georgian times, it may have been only the wealthy that could visit Ilfracombe, but in Victorian times, taking a dip here became fashionable for the masses, as the railway arrived in the town in 1874, making it more affordable to take a trip to the coast.
So what rock were the miners dealing with here? It's a type of slate, and you can see that there are other types of rock mixed in with it as well.
Yeah, it's really layered, isn't it?
Yes, yeah. You can see here there's some marks actually still left in the wall of the tunnel from the pickaxes of the men that worked cutting all this through. The experience of walking through the tunnel, that would have added to the anticipation of getting down to the beaches. It must have been quite eerie and quite daunting for some people to have come through somewhere like this, very dark, and wondering where it was going to lead.
The main tunnel leads to the men's beach, then further tunnels lead to the ladies' beach. These unspoilt beaches may have kept their names, but 21st century swimming isn't segregated.
Paint a picture of what it would have been like here in the 1830s. In the early days of bathing, the ladies, they wouldn't have actually swum in the water. They would have taken the waters by going down in their bathing machines. What did these bathing machines look like? They were really like a wheeled shed that was pulled down by a horse or a pony down to the water's edge so that they could get into the water without being seen by anyone else. Whereas the gentlemen were a lot freer in what they could do. Over on this side, they could have swum around and engaged in sporting activities. But for the ladies, it was very genteel and certainly no swimming in the early days.
Boulders and lime mortar were used to construct tidal pools to hold back the rough seas and create a calmer, more refined bathing experience for swimmers.
Right, well here, for instance, we've got a photograph of the men's bathing beach, and then you've got a photograph here that shows what people would have worn on the beach.
Oh, gosh, full Victorian dress.
Absolutely, certainly not showing any flesh, no chance of getting the sun. So at the beginning there was this segregated bathing and swimming. When did it all mix? We think in 1905 they began mixed bathing here. There were several photographs of men and women in the pool together, which was a great sort of advance at the time. What effect did the building of the tunnels have on the town? Without the tunnels' beaches, without the hot and cold water baths, there wouldn't have been that important element of the spa town that Ilfracombe wanted to be. It was an important stage in Ilfracombe's growth, and eventually it became the second most popular destination in the whole of Devon for seaside resort. So it was really the start of the building up of this area? Yes, it was, yes. Sarah, thank you. It's been lovely. Thank you.
Claire and Colin have now seen all our properties, which offer different living and business opportunities. But did any of them hit the spot?
So, Colin and Claire, when we first met, you were looking for a house, space for caravans, and possibly holiday lets. Yep. What is your thinking now?
We're thinking of expanding our search into a larger area and
Focus more on the holiday let.
Yeah, I think so.
What made you focus more on the holiday let rather than the caravans?
I think the difficulty of finding level enough land in Devon.
Out of the houses that we've shown you, it's the cottage with the annex that fits the bill the most. Is that
Yep.
right?
Yeah, that's. I'd say
The
that's
semi-detached.
correct.
That's
Yeah.
right, yeah.
But Colin, you don't want neighbours.
No, that's right. I don't want to be attached to them.
You started thinking beyond where we were a couple of days ago.
Definitely.
Is that
Oh,
where
yeah.
you are, really?
Yeah, definitely.
So in a way, that focus has really shifted, hasn't it?
It's still something that we would like to have, but if we was to find a property that only had a holiday let and didn't have an appropriate amount of land and it was in the right place, then it wouldn't be a deal breaker that we couldn't have caravans.
None of the houses that we showed you quite hit the mark, did they?
No.
That's right. We've waited a long time to buy a house together,
Yeah.
so we want to do it right.
We don't want to rush and buy the wrong house and then regret it.
Well, it sounds like we've helped you in some way.
You have.
You have, it's been wonderful, thank you.
Good luck with the search. I hope it doesn't take too long.
So do we.
And let us know when you found the wow house.
We will.
We will.
Although Colin and Claire aren't keen on the properties we've shown them, I'm pleased we were able to open their eyes to the opportunities here in Devon. It's great to hear they're now widening their search as a result, and we wish them all the best. See you next time on Escape to the Country.
Claire and Colin have now had an offer accepted on a bungalow with a caravan site in North Devon and are living in their caravan nearby until they move in. If you'd like to escape to the country in Northern Ireland, Scotland, Wales or England and need our help, please apply online at bbc.co.uk/be on a show.
200 years ago, this secluded cove was inaccessible by land until a group of entrepreneurs came up with an ingenious plan to turn a remote beach into a popular seaside spot. Find out how and where I am in just a moment. Today's dog-loving duo have a keen eye for detail as they explore our country properties.
Yeah, my knitting bag could sit just right over there.
You've picked out a place for your knitting bag.
It's near the fire.
Their wish list presents its challenges, but also some positive reactions.
Well, yeah.
I got a bigger wow from Colin for this part than the main house. Today I'm in Devon, and these are the Tunnels beaches on the northern coast. In the early 19th century, coal miners from Wales were brought in to tunnel through these cliffs. In doing so, they opened up this natural gem to the growing trend of the Victorian seaside holiday. And the town of Ilfracombe, on the other side of these rocks, prospered as a resort. Later on, I'll be exploring those tunnels and the beaches they lead to. But first, let's shine a light on what else this picturesque county has to offer. Devon's enduring popularity is reflected in its house prices. The average cost of a detached home in this county is just shy of £305,000. That's £21,000 above the national average. Coastal properties are obviously more pricey, but as a general rule, the northern areas of Devon are less expensive than the south. So what is it about this diverse county that's so appealing to our buyers today? Let's meet them. A chance meeting brought former nurse Claire and retired firefighter Colin together 22 years ago, while Claire was hanging out her washing.
We met many years ago. My sister-in-law's sister lived upstairs from Claire, and I saw her one day and thought it would be nice to ask her out.
She did.
And then it went from there.
Yeah.
When they met, Claire was in the process of house hunting.
I found this house in January 1993 because I was looking for a property that would house my disabled son and give him all the facilities that he needed at home.
They moved in with Claire's son Jamie the following year, and they married 3 years later and had a daughter together. Colin also has a son and daughter from a previous relationship. However, they now live by themselves in the 5-bedroom detached house in Bexley in Kent, just outside London.
Bexley doesn't seem to offer us the quietness anymore. It's just so busy all the time, and we just feel as though it's time for us to move somewhere quieter now. The children have grown up, so we'd like to be able to just move away and do our own thing now.
Having enjoyed many happy holidays in Devon, they've decided it's where they want to call home.
Like the scenery, open spaces. It's a much more relaxed and stress-free way of life down in Devon. So once we get down there, we can just take our time at the pace that Devon does. And it'll be great.
And after a happy partnership spanning over 2 decades, they can't wait to choose their first property together.
For me, the most exciting part is going to be finding that house. Just to have one that we've bought together because we both like it, not because it's what we need.
Yes, which this house was.
None of the children will be making the move south, but Claire and Colin won't be relocating on their own.
The dogs will definitely be coming with us.
Yes.
They're a big part of our lives now. As far as we're concerned, they're part of the family.
Our dogs are Archibald, and he's a golden cocker spaniel. And we have Missy Moo, who's a Pomeranian.
So they'll definitely be kept busy with dog walks, and they've got other plans to while away their retirement too.
We bought a touring caravan a couple of years ago, and we think it's something that we really enjoy doing. So much so, we'd like to try and make it into a small business.
Just a small site, no more than 5 caravans.